I invite all of you to support our friends here, like Mike of the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, and Lisa will be coming up soon as the executive director of the Wisconsin Media Campaign, and also Wisconsin Grassroots Network, because we're trying to do this kind of work of energizing people across the state, as I mentioned before. And so we all have to do the work. As Mike said, you cannot do democracy on the cheap. You guys know this. You can't do it on the cheap. You can't just give your money. I'm afraid you gotta give our lives. I offer to you for your reading The Garden of the Beasts by Eric Carson. Many of you are nodding your heads. You read that book, and that's his account of the American ambassador to Germany in 1933 and 34, when Germany was slipping into fascism. You read that book, and you'll see we are very close to that kind of an edge right now, as Mike just pointed out to you. It's too late after you slip over the edge. A totalitarian government will prevent you from defending yourselves and democracy. Now is the time when we can do the defending. And that's why this generation has got to step up and get involved in your community, forming community groups, forming regional groups, doing the work. Democracy is not on the cheap. You have to do the work. You can't just contribute your money. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you that. But Mike just pointed out to me how astronomical the money is on that side. You're never going to compete just with the dollars. You're going to compete with your heart, your soul, and your life. And I'm in it for the long run, and you are too. Lisa, come and tell us about the media.
So it's 10:20 now, so we're a little behind schedule, and so I hope you won't mind if I take equal time with my male panelists, rather than spend just next minute talking. Because I think that I think we have a lot to talk about, and I really want to thank Nate so much for this invitation, and I really want to encourage you to donate to the work that Nate is doing, and then donate again, and donate again, because this is really vital. Work that he's doing to help build this grassroots network that the volunteers are doing. And I have to say, before I get into my remarks, that it's an honor to be here. And I got a little bit of a cold, and so I hope you'll bear with me as I try to share with you some thoughts to mark where we're at in 2013 in this struggle. So I've got actually two parts of my remarks. First is I'm going to take off my hat as the head of the Center for Media and Democracy. We publish PR Watch and Alex Exposed and Source Watch. And I want to talk to you as an ordinary citizen. So this part of my remarks are not associated with my nonprofit or Nate's nonprofit. But I just want to talk to you about what I'm thinking, because it's been a hell of a year, right? A year ago, over 1 million signatures for Call Scott Walker. That was huge. And I think we as citizens deserve a round of applause for all of that effort that people did to make that happen. Now, as an ordinary citizen of this state, having returned here after having gone to University of Wisconsin at La Crosse and then come back a couple years ago to Wisconsin, I was really hopeful last year at this time that someone else would be governor. You may have shared those views. And then it was, it was a long slog through that spring, and it was really unfortunate to see the White House say that the governor's race really didn't matter, they weren't going to get involved in one amazing, beautiful thought crossed my mind, and it was this: Elizabeth Warren for president in 2016. All right, so now we're going to get back to that. We're going to, if you don't mind me. So, one last thing. Okay, still Lisa Graves, ordinary citizen. Those signs that were up and down the highways, when you didn't see, party signs, Democratic signs, official campaign signs, when you saw those signs up and down the highways in the red zones and the blue zones and the purple zones, that was the work of Nate and this tremendous grassroots effort, and it must be applauded. Personally, we need more of those signs. We need them everywhere. Those signs are like town fires, alerting our fellow citizens in places that aren't like Dane County, where they're not getting as much real news, where they're not getting the facts, where they're getting disinformation, where they're getting news feeds out of Wisconsin Reporter and these other right-wing outlets. We need more of that. And so I just want to say personally, I applaud that, and I really thank you, Nate. So, all right. Let me talk to you about what we've been up to and why we think it matters to you as the Center for Media and Democracy and Publishers of Politics Exposed. Actually, we've got a booth, so if you have not signed up to get our newsletter from PR Watch, to get our news, please sign up. We are on a daily basis breaking news and uncovering the bad guys and uncloaking them. So it's been a really busy year because Mike wrote some of the numbers from some of the official spending. But what we do is actually tell you about the unofficial spending. The spending by groups like David Koch's so-called Americans for Prosperity, which I call Americans for Free, right? David Koch's Americans for Free. Other spawn of David Koch's operations from before, Freedom Works, which is really a misnomer in the way that they operate. And push this right-wing corporate agenda, the agenda of very narrow billionaires who decided to really retake and control our democracy. What we uncover is spending by groups that don't report, in essence, that they're spending in elections. Last year in that race for Paul Walker, American Prosperity spent $10 million on a bus campaign and other door-knocking operations, and they claimed it had nothing to do with the election. Really? The bus first stopped the day before the election. They were handing out signs that had Scott Walker's face on it. It's a little hard to imagine how that had nothing to do with the election. We think it did, we counted it. And so when we looked at the numbers for this past election, we counted all the money that was spent by the super PACs and these billionaires and super PACs. And we found that this last election was well over $1 billion in spending across the country. That's just a drop in the bucket in some ways, because so much spending is not disclosed. This was, in fact, the most expensive election in U.S. history. It was the most expensive election in the history of the world. And here in Wisconsin, as Mike pointed out, this notion that we've got a government that's basically funded by outside state interests. It's sort of a crazy situation, especially for the Tea Party people to be supporting that sort of effort. We had a Tea Party once that was objecting to foreign rule. Some rich guy in another country controlling the governors here in the United States. It seems to me that there's a little bit of a parallel to having a governor elected in Wisconsin who actually is serving and is funded by the interests of people who don't live here and don't have to live with his policies. And I think that's just wrong. But then we look at other things that we've helped uncover. This is some of the work we've done. So, as you know through our work on ALEC, which is not ALEC Baldwin, which is the acronym for the American Legislative Exchange Council, what we uncovered was a situation in which corporate lobbyists are actually voting behind closed doors as equals with our state representatives, with representatives like Robin Voss, Fitzgerald's, and others. They go off to these fancy conventions, they sit behind closed doors on a task force that ALEC creates, they vote side by side with someone from Koch Industries. They've got reps on those panels. They vote side by side with someone from Americans for Prosperity. They vote side by side with representatives from Herbert Norquist, Americans for Tax. It says a virtual school gets the same per pupil amount as a school with bricks and mortar and gym and lunch ladies and school school buses and art programs and student councils, a virtual school, a kid going to school on a computer. It's the same for people. I think that's immoral. The difference is profit for that company. In K-12, we did an analysis of that last year. K-12, their revenues increased from over 200 million or 800 million in the last 4 years. So while your revenue has been challenged and going down, their revenue has been skyrocketing toward $1 billion per year, and 95% of their revenue comes from your tax dollars. That's immoral. That CEO makes over $500 million. He has millions in stock options in that company, and they want to tell you that your teachers are paid too much and that their benefits are too much. It is outlandish and it is immoral. I've got 1 minute left, so let me do this quickly. Health and safety net programs. You've heard of privatizing Social Security? That's not on the agenda item. On that point, you're going to hear a lot about fixed debt, and this debt ceiling, and this debt crisis in the next 3 to 6 weeks. We actually have something coming out this week. Please go to Carol Watch and find it. But basically, these guys talk about Social Security as if they went to school on Mitt Romney's tuition plan, which was get it from the trust fund. Because I don't know about you, but when I look at my pay stub, I pay for Social Security. That's my benefit. I pay for the Medicare or Medicaid taxes. That's my benefit. When they say it's an entitlement, it's not because I feel entitled to it or something entitled. It's because I am entitled to it. It's because it's my money. And how dare they try to take it? But they have had a laser beam effort to try to take our Social Security and privatize it for the gain of Wall Street. And if it had been privatized before the crash in 2008, it would be gone. Gone. And these are ideas that are pushed and peddled by billionaires like Pete Pearson, who doesn't need Social Security. But you know what? I do, and I pay for it. And I don't want to make Romney offend that cuts me off because I'm not 57 yet. These are moral issues about our future. On the issue of the environment and energy, these are the guys who say you shouldn't have windfall, you shouldn't have any taxes on windfall profits of oil companies. Why not? Why not? They're making more money than they've ever made in the history of the world, these oil companies. And they're making some of it subsidized by us. Why shouldn't they pay more taxes? It's a moral issue. When you look at the issue of guns and prisons and crime now involved in NRA with the co-chair and Walmart with the co-chair of that task force, they want to privatize the prisons, and then companies like CCA want to say, which was now never left, they want to say, listen, we'll buy your prisons. It just guarantees a 95% occupancy rate. Really? Better than a hotel? That creates perverse incentives in our prison system and our sentencing system to put more people in jail to fund their profits. And then they come around and tell you, not responsible, you want to get here. They tell you that they're the biggest employer in your county with your tax dollars. And they spend your tax dollars to lobby for what? More prisons and longer sentences. It is a moral issue. And on the last part on taxes and budgets, I just would say, wouldn't it be amazing if there were public service announcements that had some of the songs on the Raging Grammys? That would make my day if I saw on TV some of the videos about spending on the war and things like that. These guys want to tell you that we've got to cut Social Security, which, by the way, is separately funded. They want to tell you they're going to cut that to solve the deficit problem. I'll tell you what would actually solve the problem with Social Security solvency 20 years from now, which is actually what the actual area scientists say that in 20 years you might not have the full amount because people live a little longer. What would solve it is ending the tax loophole for people who make more than $110,000 a year. If you had to pay your taxes, and I say over $110,000 for your Social Security taxes, that problem, little problem 20 years from now, would be solved in an instant. And you know what else I would do? I would tax Wall Street gains and ensure that some of what Mitt Romney's money is going to Social Security too. But the fact is that we're spending more on our defense budget, more on defense than the next 20 countries in the world combined. If we can't take a little bit of money out of the defense budget to solve whatever debt problem we have, it's a scandal and it is a moral issue. We have to make those choices. The idea that we're going to cut our Social Security programs, that we're going to cut every set of cuts and the deficit in time to do more public spending is totally perverse. It's the economics of Herbert Hoover. It's the politics of Republican right, and it's one more indication of the capture of our government by Wall Street. Erskine Bowles, who you're going to hear a lot about in the coming weeks, gets $300,000 a year for a few meetings on the board of directors of Morgan Stanley, more than most Americans make. These are moral issues, and we at the Center for Media Democracy, in our work on PR Watch, and our work on Alec Exposed, our work on Source Watch, are here to help expose the truth and make sure you